Join me as I dive into the history books and explore ancient artifacts to uncover whether Vikings really won against Native Americans. Let's settle this debate once and for all. When it comes to the history of exploration in North America, most people think of Christopher Columbus and his infamous voyage in 1492. However, there's another group of seafarers who beat Columbus to the punch by nearly 500 years, the Vikings. Led by Leif Erikson, the Vikings established a settlement in present-day Canada around 1000 AD, marking one of the earliest European expeditions to North America. But what's often overlooked is the encounter between these Viking explorers and the indigenous peoples already inhabiting the continent, the Native Americans. These interactions were a mix of trade and conflict, shaping the early history of European and Native American relations. One of the biggest misconceptions about Viking encounters with Native Americans is that they were brutal and one-sided, with the Vikings emerging victorious. This narrative has been perpetuated by popular media and folklore, but in reality, the evidence tells a different story. The encounters were complex and often involved trade and cultural exchange. Archaeologists and historians have struggled to piece together the events surrounding these encounters, mainly due to the lack of concrete evidence. Many of the original Viking settlements have been lost to time, leaving behind only fragments of history. Additionally, Native American oral traditions often conflict with the written records left behind by Viking explorers, making it difficult to separate fact from fiction. This lack of evidence has led many to mythologize the Viking Native American encounters, portraying them as brutal battles with clear-cut winners and losers. But the reality is far more complex. The Vikings were not the bloodthirsty warriors we often imagine, and their interactions with Native Americans were likely characterized by a mix of trade, cooperation, and conflict. Unfortunately, the scarcity of reliable sources has allowed these myths to persist, obscuring our understanding of this pivotal moment in history. Another challenge in reconstructing these events is that our primary sources are often biased and one-sided. The Viking sagas, medieval Icelandic texts that chronicle the Vikings' adventures, are some of the most valuable resources we have. However, they were written by Viking settlers themselves, which likely skewed their portrayal of events. Similarly, Native American accounts of these encounters have often been filtered through European interpretations, losing their original context and meaning. The challenge of reconstructing history is compounded by the need to sift through these biased and fragmented sources to uncover the true nature of Viking and Native American interactions. Viking expeditions to North America during the medieval period were an incredible feat of navigation and seamanship. Led by Leif Erikson, the Vikings established a series of settlements along the eastern coast of Canada, including the famous L'Anse aux Meadows in present-day Newfoundland. These settlements, excavated by archaeologists in the 1960s, have provided crucial insights into the daily lives of Viking explorers and their interactions with the indigenous populations. Evidence of ironworking, boat building, and hunting practices suggests a thriving community that coexisted, if not always peacefully, with the Native Americans. Additional finds such as Norse artifacts and Native American tools indicate a complex relationship marked by both cooperation and conflict. One of the most significant archaeological findings is the presence of butternuts, a type of walnut native to North America, at the L'Anse aux Meadows site. This suggests that the Vikings engaged in trade with the Native Americans, exchanging goods like iron and European textiles for valuable resources like food and furs. The Vikings' ability to adapt to their new environment and form alliances with the local populations is a testament to their resourcefulness and survival skills. The discovery of the L'Anse aux Meadows settlement has far-reaching implications for our understanding of Viking and Native American interactions and trade. Rather than a simple narrative of conquest and defeat, the evidence points to a more nuanced relationship, characterized by cooperation, mutual exchange, and occasional conflict. The Vikings' presence in North America was likely marked by a series of complex encounters, each with its own unique dynamics and outcomes. The Norse settlement at L'Anse aux Meadows stands out as a remarkable achievement, a testament to the Vikings' seafaring prowess and adaptability. However, it's essential to recognize that this achievement was built on the existing knowledge and resources of the Native Americans, who had inhabited the continent for thousands of years. The Vikings' success in establishing a settlement in North America is therefore tempered by the realization that it was only possible through their interactions with the indigenous peoples. These interactions were not just about survival, but also about learning and adapting to a new world. So, did the Vikings really win against the Native Americans? The answer is a resounding no. The Viking Native American encounters were complex and often fraught with tension, but they cannot be reduced to a simplistic narrative of victory or defeat. Instead, they represent a fascinating chapter in the history of exploration, one that continues to captivate and intrigue us. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the history books. If you have thoughts on this topic, be sure to share them in the comments below. And if you're interested in learning more about Viking history or Native American cultures, check out our other videos on these fascinating topics.